agree with Alan Greenspan, we ought to just eliminate the debt ceiling. Oh, absolutely, we do.
The ability of almost every working American to access more credit than they should have been able to masked the underlying fact that lower and middle class incomes were not rising.
That's not a tenable strategy. Isn't now the time to eliminate it? Oh, it would have been time a long time ago to eliminate it.
Let's put aside terrorism. Let's talk only about our own homegrown animals that are patrolling America right now. So it goes down to the simplest thing. Be prepared, be vigilant.
This has fueled and fanned the flames of this anger toward the American police officer. There's only one group in America, one time, that truly cares about the lives of black people in these urban ghettos, and it's the American police officer who goes out there on a daily basis, puts their life on the line to protect who? Black people. So when you say we just want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation about the black-on-black crime, which kills more black males, which is more of a threat to any black male in the United States than a law enforcement officer.
Sheriff.
It seems that death has lost its effect in our nation. What do you think about that statement to open the show? It seems as though death has lost its effect in the United States, so really in the world stage in 2016. Incredible as it may seem, that's very much where we're at. That's where we're at. It seems as though death has lost its effect in 2016 with 2 more dead. What is it? 3 more dead in Baton Rouge. Police officers killed outside the police station. Who killed them? Gunman. Suspect. Gunman. Suspected gunman. You read the stories, that's what you see. Gunman. Suspected gunman. Gunman. Suspect. Nothing about their ties to the Black Lives Matter community or whatever community they're tied to. The curtain, the veil of non-truth has to go away. Because we're going to find out. And it's just making people angry when these things happen. So now we'll see it swing to the other side, and like a pendulum, we'll watch as Americans on a whole are slaughtered by one another. Because the leadership in the White House is so terrible. Let's get right to the facts. We know what it is. We know there's someone up there in the highest office who is rallying people and has been rallying people to do crazy things since he got in office, right? And he sat there at the police funeral and still griping and moaning about the situation in America. And imagine what a Trump-Pence presidency would do to a nation, right? Imagine the riots, imagine the fires, imagine the killings, the police killings, the minority killings. Because that's what's coming. I mean, what do you think it'll look like that first day if Trump gets in and goes forward with his plan to build a wall, a real wall? What do you think that first day of breaking ground at the wall will mean to America? You're going to have college kids, you're going to have the ACLU, you're going to have a bunch of maniacs down there sitting on the border in the way of the people who are there to do the job. And it's going to turn ugly, it's going to turn bloody. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. But what I am tired of is American people to get killing each other. American people dying. That's what I'm tired of. James Walton. Right? The host of I Am Liberty. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of blacks killing blacks. I'm tired of the black community being hemorrhaging. And the great minds that are locked up in that community going to waste through gunfire and drug dealing. Right? I'm tired of black on black crime in America. It's unbelievable. It's unspeakable. And it's hardly talked about. I'm tired of police killing black people who are pretty much unarmed and unaffected. I'm tired of watching black kids die. I'm tired of watching men being held down against their will and killed by the police in situations that I feel are unnecessary. Right? I'm tired of watching Americans die at home at the hands of other Americans. And I know this is just the beginning. I know this is just the beginning, and you need to know that too. You need to understand that now is the time. Now's the time to fortify your home. Now's the time to check the locks. Now's the time to pack the bags. Now's the time to make sure that you have a weapon to protect your family, to protect yourself. Right? You need to have a plan at this point. Where are you going to go if things get ugly? What is your escape route out of town? If the riots begin to swell and start to move west or east towards your home. Now is the time. Sit down with your family. Talk about your preparedness plan for if America continues in this bloody direction that it's going. Right? Where we're seeing death at the hands of other Americans. What's the plan? I did a show last Wednesday at preparedbroadcasting.com about the 5 things you need to spend your money on in this nation today, or your next paycheck, whatever. What do you need to spend your next paycheck on? The 5 things. You know, locks was one of them. Fortification of your castle, right? You got to fortify your castle now. You've got to figure out how could people get in and how can I keep them from getting in. If you think looting and robbings, shootings and killings are a thing of the past or a thing of certain neighborhoods only, please understand where this world is going right now. You got to understand what these cops getting murdered means to the future of the police force. Okay? When things are nice and comfortable, a certain type of people feel comfortable joining the police force. But when people are getting picked off and sniped and murdered, then there's another type of person that feels comfortable taking that job on. And that type of person might not be the answer to our problems in America. Right? A person who is ready to go in and do a good job and seek justice and do the right thing and come home each night to his family and kiss them on the head and go to bed with his heart full with the fact that he's made some difference in the world. That's the police officer you want. But when the risk reaches a tipping point where you can get shot right outside of police headquarters, well then the type of person that pursues those jobs changes a little bit, right? I mean, an intelligent and mindful person who's thinking about self-preservation above all may not take on that job. A thoughtful person. Instead, it may be relegated to someone who doesn't mind bullets whizzing by their head. Someone who maybe wants some vengeance. Someone who knows that rather than going into American communities and American neighborhoods to do good in this world, maybe they're thinking that they're going into a war zone and they're comfortable there. And maybe they start to treat the police's rules of engagement a little more like war. But these are all the consequences of what we're doing in the country right now. These are the consequences of what our actions are in the nation right now. So my only request to you from the preparedness end is that you need to get a weapon. You need to be able to protect yourself. You need to fortify your castle, okay? You have to figure out your self-defense plan. You have to figure out your escape route. You need to sit down with a map and chart which ways you can make it out of your home and out of your area. And where would you go? Where will you go? Do you have a place to go locally? If these things swell and get out of control, you have to have a place to go. And most importantly, you need to spend some money on some sort of a membership in some sort of a diverse group in your area. Now, this is not as sexy as guns and axes and locks and surveillance drones or whatever. But what I will tell you is this. You're going to be fed by media outlets like I Am Liberty. You're going to be fed by podcasts. You're going to be fed by the news. You're going to be fed all of this garbage from people. You yourself has to get out in the nation. You have to get out in the nation, in your community, and meet the white people, meet the black people, meet the brown people, meet the this people, the that people, the pigmented, whatever pigment you have to meet, whatever community they come from. You want to be in a diverse group, and you want to make these decisions for yourself, right? You're going to come to find that America is made up of great people, of all walks of life, of all pigmentations. You're going to come to find that. But from your couch, you'll never come to find that. From your couch, you can be tricked into a civil war. From your couch, you can be tricked into a race war. You need, more than anything, you need experience. You need experience with the American public. You need to talk to people. You need to find out, wow, they're struggling with the same things I'm struggling. Wow, they're trying to achieve the same things I'm trying to achieve. Only the American people will bring each other together again. There will be no force greater than us to bring the country together, right? It'll be you talking to your neighbors. It'll be your neighbors talking to other people. It won't be some figurehead who said we're not as easily manipulated a population anymore. It's like I told you before about gun control. The more you get up and bray about gun control, the more people are going to buy guns. And it's the same way. If you get up there like a parent and tell people that, oh, you have to get along with your neighbors. We don't want to be the nation divided by race. The nation's going to be divided by race. The change must come at the community level now. That's all there is to it. And if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you're angry, then you have to get out in these communities and see for yourself and discover the truth for yourself. And you'll come to find that there are communities in your very area where racism is alive and well, both in the white community and in the black community. But you'll also come to find that that's the minority. That's the minority. You'll come to find that the most overwhelming characteristic will be people working to be successful. That's it. People working towards success. Which, in my opinion, is the only way Donald Trump has gotten as far as he's gotten, and the only way he'll win. It's because people want success. They don't want corruption. They don't want Hillary Clinton's corruption and whoever she's going to drag out of the castle in Transylvania to run with her. God only knows. We know about Pence, right? Okay, so we meet this Pence guy. What's he all about? He's a staunch conservative Christian guy. He's the type of guy that the nation hates right now, on a whole. At least the news media and the outlets. He is the targeted. If you look at a guy like Pence, right? Religious liberties bill. You can say what you want about that. He's against Planned Parenthood. People get scared about that. What else? A staunch conservative guy with a Marine for a son who's in love with his wife. He's about as much a villain as you can make. If you were to draw out a villain in the United States today, it would be Pence, right? I'm talking about a villain that the Colberts of the world lick their lips about, right? They lick their lips about a guy like this, so they're going to attack him. So again, if it's going to be won, it's not going to be won by the news media. It's going to be won by people who want change. The election in November will be a very interesting look into the heart of America. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to talk about election too much today, but that's what it will be. It will be a very interesting look into the heart of America. What do Americans really want? Do they want to continue on in the direction that we're headed now, which is, it's incredibly dangerous. It's an incredibly dangerous direction where people are being killed, police are being killed, right? We're seeing mass shootings from our friends from the Quran side of things. And I'll tell you the link that's scary. The link for me that is scary is the link between the Nation of Islam and radical Islam, right? The link between the black communities, their link to the Nation of Islam. And if there comes a leader like a Farrakhan when his time is through, who can bridge the gap between that world and the world of radical ISIS-style Islam, and that is, you take a disenfranchised group like that, man, that's a nightmarish scenario. But that said, we'll get to peer into the heart of America with this election. We'll get to see where people's, alliances really are. Because we'll have a hardline right-wing candidacy, and we'll have, the quota. We'll have what's going on right now. Hillary's going to be more of the same of what's happening in the country right now. Do people want this direction? Or are they too terrified of a Pence and a Trump and what might happen if they take office? It's very interesting. It'll be a very interesting day in America. Come to that first Tuesday in November. Who knows what'll happen? I am not sure, but I can tell you this much. Though it may be hairy in the beginning, and though it may make a lot of things happen early on, the war of this nation and the freedom of its people will be won by you and me. That's it. You and I will win the hearts and the minds of this nation. That's it. No matter what Trump pulls off, no matter what Hillary cheats out, there will be no difference. The people must and always will carry the nation. And I talk about the mass shootings in Orlando, right? I'm about halfway through this ebook on surviving a mass shooting. This is an important thing to me, right? This is important because I think our government does a pretty decent job over at ready.gov and even at FEMA of providing materials to get people trained for natural disasters and catastrophes and situations such as a mass shooting. But I don't think that the information is there, but there's no real vehicle to get people to it. Now, I've trained on this topic. I've worked with people in a business setting on how to get them prepared for a situation like this, because it's a unique situation. It's not a fire. Fire burns because of oxygen, fuel, and heat. It's predictable. These mass shootings, these active shooter scenarios are anything but predictable. But there are some ways that you can be prepared for these situations, no matter where you are. Whether you're at work, whether you're at your home, it doesn't matter. And we're going to talk about them in the book. And it's going to become a short ebook and a manual for your survival and preparedness in one of these situations. Because there are some things you have to know. You have to know about run, hide, fight. You have to know about cover and concealment. You have to know about these things. You have to know how to go over a room. When you enter a room, what are the things you're looking for? All this is vital information. In America. Or else you have that. Or else you have one of those coming your way, an ambulance speeding by. Right? Speeding by, coming your way. So that book will be out another month or two, probably. I'll be finished with it. Just in time for the holidays. Surviving a Mass Shooting. Buy it for your grandma. Now, I'm excited about the book's a big deal. It is a big deal. But amidst the chaos of all this, we also have to have a little fun. Right? You know what I'm Liberty's about. I'm not going to sit here and lay around in the doldrums all day. We have to have a little bit of fun. We have to go through a little bit of an audit, right? The thing about your preparedness is there's nobody auditing it, right? There's nobody auditing your situation. One of the only great things about the Doomsday Preppers show, besides watching the Maniacs for entertainment value, was that at the end of each sort of profile, you got a grade and you got recommendations. Right? You were graded on your level of preparedness and your plans, and then you got recommendations also. So, that being said, I've come up with a way that we can audit our bug out bags and our bug out plans. Whether you like it or not. If you're into that sort of thing, okay. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm hosting a Survive the Bug Out Challenge on September 2nd, right? I Am Liberty Show's Survive the Bug Out Challenge. Go to the website. It should be in the featured bar of articles and shows that's scrolling automatically. I've done some social media posts about it as well, but Survive the Bug Out Challenge is very exciting and going to be very fun. So you sign up to Survive the Bug Out Challenge. You're agreeing to, on the evening of September 2nd, you're going to get a phone call from me. Right? James Walton's going to give you a phone call. No, not a phone call. I'm sorry, an email. I don't want your number. It's too much liability. You're going to get an email from me on August the 2nd. And you will be given some sort of a scenario, some sort of a disaster, catastrophic scenario in which you will be instructed to get X amount of miles away from your home and your living space. Whether you want to include your family in this or not, that's completely up to you. But those will be the terms, right? It's going to be, here's your situation. You have to get this far away from home. You have to spend a night there. You have to spend a night at least this far away from your home. You have to bug out. You have to use the contents of your bag to make this happen. You know, it's nice to have a bag. It's nice to say I'm prepared. It's nice to do this. It's nice to get up on forums and talk about what a prepper you are. But what really matters and what's really important is when you have to make decisions in a hurry, when you have to utilize those things that you've prepared for and see how they work. And that's what this is. This is a contest. There will be prizes. But this is also an audit of your preparedness level. Can you pull this off? There will also be tasks attributed to this disaster scenario. So first paragraph will be yada, yada, yada scenario has happened. You're in danger in this way and that way. You need to get X amount of miles away from your home and stay safe. And then there'll be about 5 to 10 tasks that you have to accomplish while you're out. Find this, create that. Someone's hurt in your party. Fix them using only the things that you have in your bag. Someone has this problem. Maybe there's that problem. And they'll all be hypotheticals, and they'll all be well thought out by yours truly. And I can tell you, it's gonna test you. It's definitely gonna test you. And by midday the following day, you'll be headed back home, back to your house, back to reality. But for that day, you're going to be audited by yours truly. Take pictures of your tasks. Make sure that you document what you did to solve each problem. And then I'm going to need about a week to go over everyone's solutions. We're going to talk about them on the show. And the winner will get some great stuff. Right? They'll probably get some books. They'll probably get some survival tools. I'm not sure yet what the whole lineup's going to be. We've got some time to think about that. But I can promise you this, folks. It's going to be a good time, and it's going to be a time for you to really audit yourself. And on top of that, if you enter, well, the most fun part is then you get to create a scenario for me. You get to create a scenario for me and a distance for me, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to head out at your instruction and try to achieve what you want me to achieve and find solutions for what you want me to find solutions for with my bug out bag. And we're going to do this together. We're going to survive the bug out challenge. All right? Don't be afraid. Give it a try. That's all I'm saying. Take a moment and talk about white supremacy. Ooh, it's a scary topic. It's a scary topic, but I've been hitting the solar plexus by the Huffington Post 2 times today, and people are losing their mind over pigmentation. People are going crazy about skin color in this nation. And there's an article up by a little twerp named Jesse Ben. I've never heard of him. No one's ever heard of him. He's pretty much, he's the useful idiot that Stalin talked about. That's who Jesse Ben is. It says, slain Dallas cop might have been a white supremacist. Still a hero? And this is what this wonderful man says to open it up. Last week, 5 Dallas cops were killed by Micah Xavier Johnson, a black man who was allegedly motivated to take such drastic action after continually watching the U.S. legal system refuse to hold killer cops to account. Naturally, bootlickers across the globe are unquestionably celebrating the slain officers as heroes, innocents and protectors. Bootlickers? You mean everyone who appreciates not getting raped and murdered in the middle of the night? You mean everyone who enjoys a good walk through the darkness of their neighborhood and not having to worry about being robbed? This is what police do, Jesse. Jesse, if not for police, you moron, you wouldn't be able to have your little Twitter account. You wouldn't be able to take your little train rides or whatever it is you do to and from work. Don't you understand? Don't you understand that naturally the bootlickers across the globe are unquestionably celebrating the slain officers as heroes? Why wouldn't we? These men were assassinated, man. So anyway, just take it with a grain of salt that this article was written by maybe one of the weakest human beings that walks the planet. I don't know. This is my opinion, Jesse. Jesse, just my opinion, all right? My opinion on you from what I've read here thus far. Now, you know me, folks who listen to this show on a regular basis. I don't bow to any authority just because. But I think out of 5 cops who were shot dead, yeah, some of them deserve some celebration, right? Some of them deserve some accolades, especially since they've been assassinated. No short of that. No short of that. And he says, but what if one of those dead cops was a white supremacist? Is he still a hero? And I don't mean a white supremacist in the sense that all cops are enforcers of a classic white supremacist order, which they are. Jesse Byrne is a white guy, by the way. Just in case you were wondering. So it goes on to then really pick apart a man who is a dead man who was assassinated on the job, doing a job that Jesse Ben doesn't even have half the testicle to do. I mean, I can't even meet Lorne Aarons. Lorne Aarons was one of the 5 Dallas cops killed last week. While the media mainstream presented him as a family man, gushed over his imposing size and his sense of humor. Basically, I don't have to read this terrible writing, okay? What this guy did is, since he has such a life, such a wonderful life, this Jesse Ben writing for the HuffPost, he decided to do some digging, or had some of his liberal friends do some digging. Yeah, here you go. A few friends and acquaintances of mine did the legwork and discovered that slain Dallas police officer Lorne Aarons was a proud and open white supremacist. Here's why, okay? Just listen very closely about what a white supremacist is for a moment. His finger, his ring finger now, bore an iron cross tattoo. An iron cross tattoo, okay. His Facebook cover photo was a massive Thor's hammer symbol. Okay? Thor's hammer now. My son has about 7 of them. That white supremacist cretin, right? He has the Thor. His buddy down the street loves Thor so much that he has a statue of him. Do you think he's a white supremacist? He's about 6. His Facebook cover was a massive Thor's hammer symbol, and his left arm was emblazoned. Emblazoned. Good word, Jesse Ben. With a crusader shield. Crusader shield. How terrible and terrifying, right? Meanwhile, what? Meanwhile, we're bringing in people who practice Sharia law on the other side of the coin, right? Practice Sharia law. They're cutting the clitoris off women. But anyway, let's get back to the white supremacist Lorne Aarons. Okay, so he had a crusader shield on his right arm. Holy shit, I don't believe it. Christianity is engaged in a centuries-long war with Islam. That's the sentence there that takes that's the laureate sentence. Christianity is engaged. Common to those right-wing Christians who believe that Christianity is engaged in a centuries-long war with Islam. Well, Jesse, those right-wing Christians are doing a shitty job at engaging in war. Because I can tell you this much. We've seen it very loud and very clear, my friend, that Islam is in a centuries-long war with the whole world, my friend, the whole world. Look in Thailand, look in Russia, look in Asia, look in Africa, look at the United States of America, my friend. Wake up, Jesse Ben. People hire people to write articles like it's amazing to me. His Facebook likes, very scary now. Now it gets really scary. His Facebook now he's in Dallas, mind you, all right? So let's be real. His Facebook likes included pages which bore similar iconography. More iron crosses, and even a Confederate flag or two. A Confederate flag, the end of the world. What a white supremacist he must have been. That Aaron's. Huh. Here you go. He took some of these. This guy is. This is serious, though. What I get a laugh out of it because it's so sad. But there are people all over the nation reading an article that is so terrifyingly bad and going, you know what? I think he's right. I think that Dallas cop was no good. I think he had an iron cross tattooed on his finger and he was related to Hitler. I think he had a Thor hammer tattooed on his arm or whatever the hell it was, and I think he's going to kill people. I think he was ready to kill all the black people. They show the guy with his wife, right, sitting here smiling, happy as can be. He's dead now, right? He's dead. She's lost her husband and probably the father of her children. Or Thor hammer. Let's read on. Some of Lauren's likes, right? They took a little photo of Lauren's likes, right? Lauren's likes on Facebook. So now we're defining people. This is what's important to understand. Okay, no laugh. No, all jokes aside, we're defining people by social media now. Okay, this guy's not around to defend himself. His wife's fucking heartbroken and destroyed. Now we're going to define him by his Facebook likes. All right? So let's define Lauren by his Facebook likes. Southern Pride and Dixie Pride, with one of those rebel flags, and you know what that means, right? Number 2, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Oh, God, 40% of the nation want to vote for the guy, so what's the deal? Door Kickers Incorporated, I don't even know what they are. United Infidel Crusader. Pastor Greg Locke, and then down here in the Greg Locke is best known for his anti-transgender hate speech. Well, hold on a second. Is he a white supremacist? Because I know white transgenders. What are we accusing the guy of now, Jesse? Get back to me, Jesse. You're confusing the shit out of me now. Now I'm confused. Okay, so Lauren has all these crazy pictures. He's got an iron cross. He's got tattoos on his arms. It says heroic cop or white nationalist. Now, here's the thing. We didn't say white nationalist at the head of the story. The way you got people to click on this story, Jesse, you little peddler, was you said white supremacist. Now things get very muddy, right? White nationalist. So what's a white nationalist then? Is a white nationalist the same thing as a white supremacist? Fuck no. No, it's a very different thing. Jesse Ben? A white nationalist, anybody can be a nationalist. Right? Anybody can be a nationalist. First, the Iron Cross, in spite of its use by the Third Reich, it isn't inherently a racist image. It's popular amongst bikers, skaters, and a host of other groups in the United States. On the other hand, it remains in the Anti-Defamation League's hate symbols database. Humph. Thor's hammer. Very scary business. Thor's hammer. I can't read any more of this. They say he was a Zoroastrian. He was a neo-pagan in the religious group of the neo-pagans. What the guy was, listen to what his name is, okay? You want me to put this together for you, Jesse, so you can sleep tonight, knowing that in your weakness, you will be safe. Lorne Aarons was a Viking, all right? Look, he's a massive man. He was a giant, okay? He dwarfs his wife in this photo. He was a big, giant guy who was protecting the public for a living. Whether you like it or not, that's what he did. Whether he liked it or not, that's what he did. Okay? That's what he did. Where's the little ditty about the shirt he had where he said he was proud to be a Viking or whatever it is? I can't find it. But there's something, it's so insane. Something along the lines of him talking about how proud he was of his Nordic pride. Yeah, here you go, Nordic pride. Beyond that, he says, it appears he took the image from a t-shirt for sale that's advertised with the not-so-subtle dog whistle to white supremacists. Nordic pride. So Nordic pride is white supremacy now. It's good to know. I didn't know that. It's pretty interesting. What about, like, Irish pride? Is that white pride, too? Italian pride? What? If that's the case, then what is Mexican pride all about? Black pride, black power, black is beautiful. What is all that? What does that mean? How about La Raza? What's La Raza all about? For those of you out there who don't even understand rudimentary Spanish, and I'm not blaming you for it, it's not your responsibility. La Raza means the race. La Raza means the race. Assuming that there is one supreme race of brown people. La Raza, the race. Welcome to the White House. Oh, yes. Have they been in the White House? Yes. Have they been influencing the weak president? Yes. Nordic pride, though. Be very careful about your Nordic pride. Especially if your name is so very inherently Nordic. It says, real Vikings will know what this means. Yes, as if it's some sort of secret language, right? Nordic pride. He says, I'm no Viking, but I'm pretty sure I know what they mean. Jesse Ben, what a disgrace, my man. I mean, how much reaching can one man do? Slain Dallas cop Lorne Aaron's hero or white supremacist? Unbelievable, man. One of the Dallas officers killed by a sniper on Thursday was once the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and grew up in Southern California. So what does that mean? So then he tries to link them to the Linwood Vikings, right? The Linwood Vikings were a white supremacist gang in Los Angeles based at the Linwood Station of L.A. County Sheriff's Department, whose members were deputy sheriffs in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. So because this guy worked there, the Vikings first rose to prominence in 1990. Okay, so he worked there, so he was a white supremacist, right? Well, let me tell you something else, Jesse, okay? He didn't do a very good job as a white supremacist because he probably protected a lot of black people in his day, all right? So even if he was a white supremacist, he sucked at it. But we're talking about a dead guy here. Can we have some respect for the dead man? For the man who did a job that myself or anyone else would hate to do, would be scared to do, would be frightened to death to do? Can we talk about that? So is he still a hero? He never was to me, but this should raise some serious questions for media and all you quote-unquote patriots out there. This is what the Huffington Post has become. This is a professional publication here, or whatever you want to call it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Really, it really is unbelievable. It's hard to take. So I read this, and I started thinking about myself, and I said, well, you know, if I were dead tomorrow, would I be called a white supremacist? I get on the show, I say some controversial things. I'm very proud of my Anglo-Saxon heritage and what we've brought to this world. Very proud. I want my children to know all about it. I want them to know exactly what they are a part of, what their lineage means to the world, and what great inventions and great discoveries we've made. And I'm not going to shy away from that just because of the weakness. Because of the weakness in the world today, I'm not going to shy away from that. Well, you know, we're really just a machine of oppression, son. And you're no good, and you're just another wheel in the machine of oppression. So you can do whatever you want to... Sickening. So as if that weren't bad enough, then I stumble into this article on Facebook, Why I'm a Racist. Why I'm a Racist, and it's a dad. This is written by Jeff Cook. It's a dad sitting here with his kids, his beautiful wife, beautiful baby boys. And he goes on to explain, I'm a white American male, I'm married to a beautiful woman, beautiful kids. And he goes on to talk about how incredible his life has been and how that's his fault for being white, and how just by not recognizing the situation, and the racial inequalities that exist in my country, I am a racist. This is insane, guys. It's getting to a point that is hard to even believe. And I'm struggling with this because I'm raising white kids and I refuse to have them sullied. You know what I mean? I refuse to live in a country that's still running on pigmentation. And I'm not going to. And I say that you shouldn't either. And I say that you shouldn't be afraid of your power, right? You shouldn't be afraid of your history. You shouldn't be afraid of your children. You shouldn't be afraid of your skin color. And at some point in time, you have to come to the realization that this is it, right? This is the history that's led us here so far. Whatever it is whatever it is. We now have the rest of time to do things the right way. And if you ask me, we've been doing it about as right as we can. Let's talk about the working American family, the working white American family, right? We're not conspiring by candlelight to destroy the black man or woman. It's not happening anymore. Okay? And I won't be pegged as such, and my children won't be pegged as such in this nation. And that's the end of it. That's the end of it. There's enough strong-minded people out there who are working towards a goal that has something to do with other than their skin color that I know will be okay. But these things have to be brought to the attention. If you're going to take a man who was murdered, executed, and drag him through the mud to get likes and Twitter followers, you're a sick person, okay? And if you want to reach to call a man something, right? To just to make a point that I told you so. I told you those police weren't any good. The police are protecting us every day and every night in ways you'll never know, in ways you don't have the gusto to even find out. Sickened again, calling it a night. It's I Am Liberty. I'll see you Wednesday.